शम्भुवे नमः शम्भुवे। ॐ ॐ यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वम् यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तं देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। Since most of us have the text with us, we can all learn the invocation prayer, the Mangala Charanam done by the author. Sarvatantra Swatantraya Sadatmadvaita Vedine Shrimate Shankararya Vedanta Gurave Namaha. Yovatirna Ihacharya Rupena Yatinam Mude Srimannarayanam Vande Tam Harim Karunanidhim Mananakhyam Prakaranam Vasudeva Yatishwarehi Rachitam Vistarenadya Sangrahena Prakashyate Balanam Upakaraya Mama Vijnana Siddhaye Tatra Shri Balagopala Krishna Sannihito Bhave. So yesterday, of all the 4 verses which the author has given as the prayer of invocation, we have seen the first one, and we were discussing the second verse over here. In the second verse, the author says, Tam Harim Karunanidhim Aham Vande. I bow down to Hari, Shri Hari, Bhagavan, Sriman Narayanam Harim Aham Vande. Who is he? Karunanidhim, the ocean of compassion. He can be the ocean of compassion, but what about him, and how does his compassion even manifest? So the expression of his compassion is Yaha Avatirnaha, he who has incarnated, Yovatirna, Acharya Rupena, And this time, the incarnation is in the form of the teacher, as a teacher, Acharya Rupena. What is the purpose of this? What is it that this incarnation has achieved, or what is the purpose of this incarnation? Yati Nam Ude, to delight the Yati. Yati meaning the sannyasis. So now the whole statement will be I bow down to Sriman Narayana Hari, who is the ocean of compassion and has incarnated in the form of a teacher to the delight of the sannyasis. Speaking about the avatara yesterday, Bhagavan Shri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita enumerates the three purposes as paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya. So when anything is mentioned in the Chaturthi Vibhakti, in the fourth case of the Vibhaktis, it also means it shows the purpose. So over here, Shri Krishna Bhagavan has given these three purposes in order to protect the good sadhu, in order to destroy the evil, and in order to establish dharma, righteousness, that I incarnate from time to time. This is what he says. Now, over here, we have to understand that the sadhu paritrana, protection of the sadhus, protection of the good, has to be from two sides. When the circumstances are such which prevents the sadhu from actually being good, a person from being good, following goodness, following the dharma. And what is it that makes him good is his inner constitution, that sadhutva. If the sadhutva, that quality of goodness is present in a person, then only the person can be called as good. It doesn't require any external certification. But you understand that if the goodness of a person from inside starts declining, then the good person will also be gone. And therefore, the goodness needs to be protected more from inside than outside. And therefore, the avatar, the incarnation does this, that the sadhu is protected from inside, from his own inner being, so that the sadhutvam is what needs to be protected. Another thing about destruction of the evil is, if the evil tendencies of the person are given up, then the evil person is also gone. And therefore, in order to destroy the evil, and this evil means when any desire now goes beyond its bounds, When there is excessive desire, such a desire creates evil in the person as well as misery in the outer world. How does that happen? Look at this. If a person has an ambition, everyone has ambition in this world. But when the ambition of the person now disregards life and values and people around, and so this person who has an ambition to sit on the top, the most powerful position, let us say he wants to become an emperor, but now he does not value how many people have to die and how many people would have to suffer for his ambition to be fulfilled. He says that is all okay. It is the price that the world has to pay for my ambition, for my Mahatvakanksha to be fulfilled. You can now appreciate now such an ambition, which even thinks that, fulfillment of his desire, that desire is so important that others can die and the people can suffer, then this ambition, this kind of a desire which is an excessive desire. So what is it that creates misery in the world? What is called as evil is nothing but desire which is not bound by dharma. This is what dharma also does. Dharma draws a boundary for the desires of a person, because even if one person is allowed to have all the desires fulfilled, yet that person is not going to be fulfilled and he will be asking for more and more desires because they keep on erupting like the Rakta Bijas, Danavas, and therefore the Dharma draws a boundary by saying that you may have a desire, but that desire has to be fulfilled in such and such a way and no other way. So the Dharma gives a legitimate path for the desire to be fulfilled. And in that process, Dharma also sees to it that the person who follows the Dharma then is uplifted. Okay? Is uplifted. So over here, that all the three purposes, which is the protection of the sadhu, which in other words is protection of sadhutvam, is important, because sadhu is not some profession or some community. Okay? Sadhu will be a person in whom the sadhutvam is there. In the rest of the places, these are the people for whom the God comes, etc. No, it is not a community of people. Any person will be a sadhu in whom there is goodness. Okay? And that goodness means the Daivi Sampatti, the Sampada, the divine wealth, which you will be able to see in the mentioned in the 16th chapter. Such a person is sadhu. So now over here, by having taken the incarnation of a teacher, what is it that Bhagwan has achieved is yatinam mude. Who are these yatis? Sannyasis. And for sannyasis, what is it? These are the people who have given up all the desires, in whom all the desires, okay, have been relinquished. And therefore, these are the people who themselves are free from all the desires. then what is it that is going to delight them? The only thing that the yati, the sannyasi, wants is that he wants the knowledge of Brahman, moksha. Okay? We will see that it is through knowledge that the moksha is attained. That is going to be the very first topic of this text. And therefore, yati, a sannyasi, is considered to be a jnana margi, the one who treads on the path of knowledge. And so, having come as a teacher, what is it that the teacher gives is knowledge. And through this knowledge, the moksha, the liberation, enlightenment is attained. And therefore, now here is the protection of the sadhu, and then even the destruction of the evil is also the purpose that comes through it, and dharma is also established. Therefore, he says that Bhagavan, who is the very ocean of compassion, arrives, manifests as the teacher, he who has incarnated as a teacher, as a delight to the yatis, to this Bhagavan Sriman Narayana, who is the compassion, ocean of compassion. I offer my prostrations, I offer my salutations. This is what is said. Now, looking at that verse, these salutations could be said as to be that the author has Bhagavan Shankaracharya. It could be Bhagavan Shankaracharya to whom he is referring over here, because the words of Bhagavan Shankara, Bhashakara Bhagavan, are a delight to the yatis, to people now who are seeking this knowledge of Brahman. To them, it is indeed a delight. And so, therefore, it can be Bhagavan Shankaracharya, since he is saying that it is Bhagavan Sriman Narayana and the avatar of Sriman Narayana. It could mean it is Bhagavan Vedavyasa, or it could also mean that he is talking about his own teacher. The history about the author Vasudeva Yati is not much known. But we can infer from this verse that he seems to be a disciple. If this particular verse is offered to his teacher as salutations, then he could mean it is Sriman Narayana is the name of his teacher, Narayanayati, to whom he is offering his salutations. So there are these three things, and all of them are perfectly in tandem. There is no conflict about it, because Guru is considered Guru for that disciple is indeed Gurureva Parabrahma, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. And this is so, therefore, to consider the Guru as the incarnation of that compassionate Lord is perfectly in tandem, in resonance with the Shastra. Furthermore, in the third verse, he now declares what is the work that he is delivering. Mananakyam prakaranam Vasudeva Yatishwarehi Rachitam Vistarenadya Sangrahena Prakashyate. Now he calls that this prakaranam, yesterday we have seen the definition of the Vedantic word, what is called as prakaranam, and it is the word prakaranam is applicable to every shastra, okay, to every shastra. So mananakyam prakaranam, it is a prakaranam, but what is it titled? He himself says this is called as Mananam. Mananakyam, it is named as Manana. So Mananam, this is the Prakaranam. Vasudeva Yatishwaraihi Rachitam is composed by Vasudeva Yatishwar. Okay, so he says that this just not Yati, but he's Yatishwara. Means he recognizes that he has been seen by people also in his time as one of the foremost sannyasis. Okay, Yatishwaraihi Rachitam Vistarena. And how is it composed? Elaborately. Huh? So elaborately, Adya now Sangrahena Prakashyate. It is brought to light by compiling it all together. Sangraha also can mean compilation. Sangraha also can mean that in Sankshepa, in as an abridged, concise form. Now, with this, it leaves us a question that is there then Brihad Vasudeva Mananam also? If this is Laghu Vasudeva, which he calls as Sangraha, then perhaps somewhere there should be Brihad Vasudeva Mananam also available. But so far, in the tradition, because so many books have been written and they even, works of great teachers in the tradition like Anubhuti Swarupacharya, etc., also, and not come to the light till now. They all were sitting as manuscripts. And slowly, some people are making some efforts in bringing them to light. But nothing like Brihadvasudeva Maranam has come to our notice so far. Or even if it is, it is not seen. So in the tradition, what we have as Vasudeva Maranam is only just this Grantha. Okay, it's just this Grantha. So this Sangraha can mean it is a compilation of all that he has contemplated upon, has done the churning of these topics, and therefore it is brought to us in form of this book, and it is called as Mananam. So because it is Vasudeva Yatishwara's Mananam, we call it Vasudeva Mananam. And it is Alpakaya, Laghukaya. It is not a Vistrita book because the topics dealt over here are very, what do they call, in a very concise manner. Because these topics also in the advanced books, you will see that these topics have been elaborately to the finer details. They have been worked, they have been thought about. But over here, he simply makes an effort of bringing some topics of the Shastra to you, to our notice, so that we also can have the pravesha in the Shastra. We can have our entry, we are easily glide into the mode of contemplation, which are over here. Sangrahena prakashyate. Further, the fourth verse, Balanam upakaraya mama vijnana siddhaye. Tatra Shri Balagopala Krishna Sannihito Bhaven. Now he says by giving this, writing this, authoring this work, there are two purposes. One is for himself and one is for other seekers. So Balanam Upakaraya. This is meant as a blessing to the seekers who have just begun their journey in the Shastra Vichara. And those people are called as Bala. By the word Bala, it does not mean Stanandhaya Balaka, the one who is still on the milk of the mother or something like that. That is not what is meant by Bala as a child. It simply means people who are not accustomed, not acquainted to the Vedanta Shastra. So a person who is still taking baby steps into understanding the Vedanta Shastra. Such a person is called as Bala. So Balanam Upakaraya. And so now this child, the beginning, the seeker in his beginning stages, the student of Vedanta, who is a fresh student, novice, now he expects some help to be given to him. Just as when a child starts taking his steps, the mother will give her finger, hand for the baby to start walking till he develops strength in his own muscles. And then he can walk independently once the balance of the body is maintained. He starts learning how to maintain the balance and then walk when the muscles slowly gain strength. So over here, till then the mother will give her aid. Okay. So over here, the help, upakara, is done by him for in form of this work, in form of this teaching to the seekers. Mama Vijnana Siddhaya, and for him also it is a way to stabilize his own knowledge. Because though the knowledge is generated, but that prajna, that's why we have the word sthita prajna, where it needs to be well rooted, stabilized. So now that stable knowledge, which means knowledge, stability of the knowledge means that the knowledge, there is no doubt or viparyaya, a contradictory feeling left about huh? That knowledge. When it is like this, when there is no space, or even if there are some doubts that may arise, now that knowledge have your own thinking, that contemplation has got the power, the strength to resolve those doubts. So, Mama Vijnana Siddhaya, in order that this knowledge becomes steady, the prajna becomes steady, I am writing this work. Now he says, Tatra, in these, with these prayojanas, Tatra, Saptami. The prayojana is also can also be mentioned, can be indicated through Saptami, which is the Tatra, the word Tatra. There is one example which is quoted in the Yoga Sutra Bhashyam, and it says, Vipinam Charmani Hanti. Vipinam Charmani Hanti. Charmani is the Saptami Vibhakti. Charma means the skin, hal. In the olden days, some tribal people who still wore the animal skins and things like that now goes to hunt a leopard. A leopard in Sanskrit is also called as dvipin. Uh, dvipin. Because if you observe the spots on the body of a leopard, they appear like islands. Dweep. They appear like those islands. So he is called as a dvipin. And So this tribal man, in wanting to have that skin of the leopard, he hunts the leopard. So Dvipinam Charmani Hanti. So Charmani is the Saptami Vibhakti. For the sake of, for the sake of skin, goes to hunt the leopard. So Saptami also has the capacity to indicate the purpose. Over here, he says in the second half of the stanza, Tatra. Tatra means kutra. Where? Where is not asking for a location. It is showing the purpose. And the purposes are mentioned in the first half of the verse. One is so that this work can bless the seekers. And this work should bring him Vijnana Siddhi. Okay? It should bring him Vijnana Siddhi. The word Siddhi means knowledge. Doubtless knowledge is called as Siddhi. So we have advanced works like Advaita Siddhi, Brahma Siddhi. All these works are there. So the word Siddhi over here means knowledge. Okay. So doubtlessly, so for his own knowledge to be stable and also to bless the other seekers, in these two purposes to be achieved, to be attained, Shri Balagopal Krishna Sannihito Bhaved. May Bhagavan Shri Krishna in form as a Balakrishna, Balagopal Krishna. May he always be Sannihito Bhaved. Sannihit, matlab, may he always be close. Sannihito Bhaved. May he be helpful over there. Sannihito Bhaved. Now, these are the four verses that Vasudeva Yatishwara has given as the prayer of Mangala Charanam. Now, from here onwards, he enters into the text. And as I have said, that the first chapter for the beginners can become a little tedious, but one should maintain a little patience. Patience is going to be the virtue over here. So let us look at this work now. Iha khalu dharmarth kama mokshanam chaturnam purusharthanam madhye moksheva parama purusharthaha. Iha khalu, indeed, iha, in this world, dharmartha kama mokshanam chaturnam purusharthanam. Now he enumerates four purusharthas. And these are the four legitimate pursuits of human life. The very word purushartha has that capacity to deliver this meaning. Purushartha means purushena arthyate iti purushartha. That what is sought by a person is called as purushartha. What is it that you are seeking? So apparently, a person may say, I am seeking a new job. I am seeking to get my daughter married. I am seeking to have a new home. I'm seeking to make more investments, more profitable, so on and so forth. So apparently, we are not saying that I am doing dharma, artha, kama. I'm not pursuing dharma, artha, kama, moksha. This is what I am doing, various activities. But look at that. All the human pursuits can be brought under this four classification of what is sought by a person. So the word Purusha in the Purushartha means a person. Hmm? So this is not meant to say only the Purushas have Purusharthas and the women do not have anything like that. It means a person. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. We will look at Dharma, but first of all, look at Kama and Moksha. The pursuit of pleasure and, the pursuit of security, the pursuit, these are the two things, if you observe, that most of our activities and most of the people and their life revolves around these two things. One is that the person wants to discover himself as pleased. What pleases you, whether it is the food or whether it is some physical pleasure, or it is, it could be some poetry or some sort of an intellectual discussion, this politics, etc. All these things, if that, or history or something like that, that pleases the person. So he wants to have something that is pleasant for himself. He doesn't want to discover himself in anything that is unpleasant. So the person is actively seeking to please himself. Okay? So that is the Kama Purushartha. This is, I'm just giving you in a very nutshell. These all things can be discussed little elaborately, but that is okay because the teacher over here, he has given only one sentence dedicated to it. So that's why I said that various topics of the Shastras are there, and he has indicated them. And, other teachers or other works are there where you will find an elaborate, detailed discussion on those topics too. But over here, that much is enough. So one is the Kama Purushartha. The other one is called as the Artha Purushartha. So when a person wants to find himself secure, he wants to make himself free from insecurity. There was one thinker who, especially of this particular last century, Krishnamurti, a lot of his literature is based only on this insecurity of a person. Talks about the insecurity. In fact, a lot of our emotions, responses, interactions with the world are governed by insecurity. And so, any person, therefore, is actively seeking to make himself free from insecurity. Now, what makes him feel is going to be the freedom from insecurity. Somebody may feel having more money or having strong relationships, emotional bonds, a support system in the society, so on and so forth. Having a very powerful position where nobody can challenge, so on and so forth. All these things can make a person feel that that he is a protection against the insecurity is what then the person seeks. So this is the artha, wealth. Okay. So he sees, because wealth is also seen as basically what? Something that gives you freedom from insecurity. So therefore, we have this artha and kama purushartha. Dharma purushartha is recognized only by the human beings. And that is the reason why, along with these two purusharthas, dharma when becomes an important pursuit for a person, only then such a person is then called as Manushya, is called as Manushya. Yeah. What happens with Dharma? Bhagavan Bhashyakara Shankaracharya gives you a very beautiful, right, very clear definition about Dharma. Is that he says Dharma is the cause of Abhyudaya and Nishreyasa. Abhyudaya means the overall growth, prosperity of a person, and, and in that person, that because the person is a part of the society, therefore even the rise, growth, development of that part of the society also, community of the humanity also will mean, it is the outcome of dharma. So abhyudaya, ihalaukika as well as paralaukika udaya, because it is Udaya. The word Udaya means rise, like the Chandrodaya or Suryodaya. When you say Suryodaya, it means the sunrise. Chandrodaya means the moonrise. Like that, there is this word Abhyudaya. Abhyudaya means that basically is consisting of two parts. Abhi, which is a Upasarga, plus Udaya. Abhyudaya. That upasarga abhi means abhitaha, sarvangina, from all the sides. Because we have multiple facets, the inner growth, the external growth, the economic growth, the psychological maturity growth of a person, ihalaukika, belonging to this world, belonging to the other world too. You should find prosperity, growth in you. Then what is that sadhanam? Do you have some sadhanam to bring about such a growth, such a rise of a person? So to which the answer is yes, it is dharma. And therefore, when a person recognizes this, the person now pursues dharma. And therefore, dharma also becomes a legitimate pursuit of a person. Okay? And then finally, there is the moksha purushartha. Now, through all these three purusharthas, one thing which should be commonly noticed is that a person basically is wanting freedom from dukkham and attainment of sukham. These are the two things which every person wants, whether he is Indian, non-Indian, educated or uneducated, and minor or an adult, man or a woman, it does not make any difference. And therefore, culturally, across all the cultures, across all the times, uh, all the geographical regions, so even if it is some Eskimo, he will also seek dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti. He will seek. Now, moksha means freedom. A freedom from what? And it means freedom from misery. But then that freedom from misery is also what Artha can give. Freedom from misery, even Kama can give. Freedom from misery can also be given by Dharma. Then why we are categorizing moksha as a fourth purushartha, that freedom over here, even if there is a certain amount of freedom from misery and some sukham is also attained through dharma, artha, and kama, yet it is limited. And because of this sense of limitation, it also becomes dukkham again. Okay? Therefore, now freedom from misery means absolute freedom from misery. Um, Absolute freedom and attainment of sukham for moksha now means which is paramanandam, where the sukham has no boundary. Okay, and therefore, if a person wants to seek this freedom, this freedom from misery, wants to seek this sukham which is boundless, why should it be called as something utopian? Because this is what a person basically wants. And every person wants it. Nobody will ever agree that, I'm ready to have some dukkham and some sukham. That is just a compromise. Hmm? That is a samjhota with life, a compromise. But in reality, everybody is seeking moksha only, but people do not recognize it. And therefore, moksha is the ultimate pursuit of human being. It is the true desire and also the ultimate pursuit of human beings. And therefore, now we are going to say that this moksha, when becomes a pursuit of a human being, then such a person has reached where, the dharma has to reach him when he starts recognizing, understanding that yes, moksha is what is wanted by me. I cannot settle for anything less than this. Anything less than this is dharma artha kama. But I am now wanting to have moksha and moksha alone. So when a person is able to say that, we are going to say that he is, almost on the summit of human pursuit. Okay, so that's why it is Parama Purushartha. Nevertheless, now this teacher gives you a reason why moksha purushartha is called as the parama purushartha. Why is moksha purushartha called as the parama purushartha? And that is nityatvat, because it is nitya. Nitya meaning it is not bound by time. It is not bound by time. Nitya, eternal, timeless, nityatvat. Why are you saying it is nitya? And what is it that allows you even to recognize, to call it as nitya? Okay? There are two things that yes, we understand it is the Parama Purushartha, it is the ultimate Purushartha. But why are you calling it nitya? Every sukham which is attained has to end, has to end. And even if you are able to end one misery, the misery has got this capacity to present itself yet in another form. So dukkham continues. So we haven't seen anything as nityam. No sukham can ever be called as nityam. Nor are we able to say that, end of any misery is can there can be an absolute end to misery, and therefore even moksha also can be intense sukham. Moksha also can be intense sukham, and moksha in another sense also can be relatively more freedom from misery. But this free, you are saying it is absolute freedom and attainment of Paramasukham, but Paramasukham means Sukham which is not bound, right? So over here, but you are saying it is Nityam. How is this acceptable? What allows you to say this? What allows you to say this is only when something is established through the pramanam, okay, through the appropriate means of knowledge. If something, now let us say, I have a vase, a flower vase in front of me in which there is a red rose, and then when I say that I know that this rose is red, you can question me, as Swamiji, what has allowed you to say that this rose is red? What has allowed you to say that this rose is red? And then the simple answer is because I can see. Huh? Because I can see it is red, which means that I have the means of knowing the colors and forms, and which is the Chakshurindriya. You have the eye, and by eyes in our this thing Shastra, we don't mean this, the balls of flesh which are sitting in the sockets in the skull. Indriya, you will see this over here also. Indriya is the part of the Sukshma Deha and not the part of the Sthula Deha. Let's remember this. Hmm? So this Indriya is there, Chakshurindriya, by because of which colors and forms can be known. And now that I am able to know it is red because I have the appropriate instrument of knowing. So also, what has allowed you to know that moksha is nitya, that this attainment is nityam? What has allowed you to know? To which now he says the pramanam. We have the pramanam, the appropriate means of knowledge. And over here, that means of knowledge we call as Shruti. We call as Shruti. So now this Shruti says, Chandogya Shruti, न च पुनरावर्तते न च पुनरावर्तते. He does not, she means he who knows Parameshwara, he does not return, he does not return. Return where? Into this samsara, where there is a constant onslaught of one dukkham after another. You may recognize it, you may not recognize it. But this is a constant sequence of dukkham after dukkham. What is that? There can be respite in between. There can be some respite, that is relief in between, but it is not freedom. What is it? You all know. What is it? Garbha dukkham. The story begins from there. Garbha dukkham, janma dukkham. Then, after having born, Sanyoga dukkham, viyoga dukkham, roga dukkham, chara dukkham, mrityu dukkham. Story finished. What is it? From garbha, from coming into the womb, right up to the tomb, there is only, dukkham is only chasing you. So those who recognize it and stop calling dukkham as sukham are intelligent people. Otherwise, we are simply calling dukkham, less dukkham as sukham, nothing else. This is what we are saying. The more clearly one recognizes this, his viveka will be awakened, and now this person will, in true sense, will start pursuing spirituality. So when you say that you are pursuing spirituality, what does it mean over here? It simply means he is a seeker, means he is seeking moksha purushartha, the accomplishment of moksha. Spiritualist does not mean that he who is able to see some colors and flying angels or anything. Oh no, no place for that. Spiritual pursuit simply means he who wants to know Parameshwara and be free. So he who recognizes moksha as his pursuit is a spiritual seeker, right? Nacha punaravartate, nacha punaravartate. Okay, okay. Chandogya Shruti. Now let us see this Chandogya Shruti 943. What is this Shruti? I will just read this mantra for you, the entire mantra, and let us see. But the only portion of this mantra which is important to understand this point that moksha is Paramapurushartha and moksha is, why is it called Paramapurushartha? Nityatvat. So this Nityatvam of moksha is established by this Shruti. That is all that we need to understand, the portion that we need to understand from this mantra. But this entire mantra is like this. So it is Chandogya uh, 8, 15, and 1. So the Adhyaya chapter number 8, section 15, mantra number 1. 8वां अध्याय 15वां खंड पहला मंत्र. It says, Tadye tad brahma prajapatayo vacha prajapatirmanave manu prajabhyaha acharya kulad vedamadhitya yatha vidhanam guroho karmati sheshani sheshanabhi samavritya kutumbe shuchau deshe swadhyayamadhiyano dharman vidadad विदधद् आत्मनि सर्वेन्द्रियाणि सम्प्रतिष्ठाप्याहि सन् सर्वभूतान्यन्यत्र तीर्थेभ्यः सकल्पेवं वर्तयन् यावदायुष्यं ब्रह्मलोकम् अभिसम्पद्यते न च पुनरावर्तते न च पुनरावर्तते. Okay, this is the mantra. Now, in short, this mantra gives you a very two things. One is the lineage of the knowledge, and the other one is that how this knowledge is obtained, and then this person lives a very fruitful life of learning the Veda at the feet of the teacher. Then he takes leave of the teacher after completing his studies and then enters into the Grahastha then fulfills the duties over there meticulously. Then slowly this person starts, he takes to sannyasa and then he collects himself that sarvendriyani, all the indriyas, etc. He lives a very samahita, very collected life. And thus, taking to sannyasa, he gives abhayam to all the bhutas, and then thus he lives a contemplative life. So the knowledge, he has already heard from the teacher, Atma is Brahman and all. So now in that contemplation, he realizes, he attains the Brahmaloka, and what happens? Nacha punaravartate, nacha punaravartate. Okay. So how is this moksha purushartha? This is the conch, the satyam. When you said the shruti, the gods are also happy. So nacha punaravartate, it does not return into this quagmire of samsara, the cycle of transmigration, dukkham after dukkham. This is what is said. Moksheva paramapurushartha. Why? Nityatvad. And this nityatvam is established. What has allowed you to know that moksha is nitya purushartha? That the Shruti of Chandogya has allowed you to know. Like the eyes allow you to know the colors and forms, like this, the Shruti has allowed you to know the nature of moksha. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaha Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Bhadarayanam Sutrabhashitatam Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavadyaptadehaya Dakshinam Itaye Namaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all. Thank you very much.